Hey, it's Matty P. If you're running Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, then I want to help you because I've already run this adventure twice and I reckon it's got good bones. It's worth running. So this is the start of my video series of how to run it. About 10 episodes we're going to do, and we're going to elevate this module from a simple starter set into an epic mini campaign that you and your mates are going to be talking about for a while. But in the same way that we transformed the Lost Mines of Phandelver campaign into a spaghetti western, we're going to make some changes to Dragons of Stormwreck Isle too. So this is a list of the 14 broad areas where I'm suggesting we make those changes, and we'll go into that granular detail in the next 10 videos or so over the next 10 weeks. And stick around to the end because of the 14 changes I'm suggesting today, the 14th is the most crucial and important. Oh, watch the whole video, YouTube. Whoa. I've drawn a diagram of the adventure structure. It's about 4 sessions long, maybe 16 hours of gameplay. And here's how it shapes up. The first session will be the players are on a boat, they arrive on a beach, they fight some zombies, and then they go to Dragon's Rest, which is the monastery they're heading to. The second session could be either one of these 2 side quests. There's one side quest where they go to a mushroom cave and deal with some myconids. There's a second side quest where they go to the Compass Rose shipwreck. Now, each of these will take 1 session to complete, but on the way there and on the way back, they will get a random encounter. After they've completed both of these side quests, the party can proceed to the final dungeon on the Clifftop Observatory and fight Sparkrender, the blue dragon, and they get a random encounter there as well. So essentially what this place is 1 NPC hub, 3 dungeons, and 5 random encounters. That's the whole adventure. The first and most important change that I'm suggesting here for Dragons of Stormwreck Isle is to rewrite the lore and the general kind of theme of the island. So this is what I'm suggesting. In ancient history, there was an evil dragon named Sharuth, and it was terrorizing the whole Sword Coast, so much so that a team of metallic dragons worked together to kill her and seal her beneath the ocean. But the heat from her underwater tomb formed a volcanic island called Stormwreck Isle. This island is kind of a holy site for dragons. It draws them over the year by emanating some kind of powerful draconic energy. Metallic and chromatic alike are rocking up here, and invariably, because of the conflict between those 2 kinds of dragons, they're fighting and they're dying. Heaps of dragons have died in this island. It is a dragon graveyard. In the most recent cycle of this conflict, there was a blue dragon who was slain by a bronze dragon named Astalagan. The bronze dragon, Astalagan, was gravely wounded in this battle, and with this clarity that came from that wound, he thought, I want to break this cycle of aggression, and he committed himself to non-aggression. He even commanded his protege, a woman named Runara, to found this temple called Dragon's Rest that is committed to Bahamut, but also committed to non-aggression. And then later, Astalagan died at that temple. His protege, Runara, takes this message to heart, commits to non-aggression, and founds the Temple of Dragon's Rest. And she continues to tend to this temple. People come and go, and she grows old. And then eventually, 3 months ago, the blue dragon Sparkrender rocks up. Sparkrender's a blue dragon wormling, and his goal is to harness the draconic energy here from his forefathers, good and evil, metallic and chromatic, and he wants to harness that energy at the crossing of the King Killer Star, which will superpower his ritual, or something like that. So he rocks up and he goes, I need to collect the bones, the remains of these ancient dead dragons so I can harness their power. So he attacks Dragon's Rest and steals some of Astalagan's remains. After the attack, Runara prays to Bahamut and prays for a dragon protector to come down and help them in the face of this evil. And then we get Lord Aegeron, the bronze dragon wormling who takes up residence at Dragon's Rest. And remember, this is like a few months ago. So Runara's tried to convince Lord Aegeron to adopt the temple's non-aggressive stance. And Lord Aegeron, listens, I guess, but he's headstrong, he's proud, and eventually he goes, I'm gonna go battle that dragon. And he does. In fact, that is exactly what happened last night, because the players are sailing towards Dragon's Rest, and in the distance, at the observatory, they see these two dragons spiraling in the sky, shooting lightning at each other, causing this massive storm to form in the clouds and send their ship a-rockin'. In fact, these two rivals are equally matched. There is no victor, and they both retreat to their various lairs to heal. Sparkrender goes into the observatory and rests there, and Lord Adron, who doesn't want to show his face at Dragon's Rest, actually goes into a cave somewhere on the island. And this is the exact moment that the campaign starts. The players arrive on the beach and we have begun. So there's going to be 48 hours of gameplay in this story. We arrive on day 1 at 1 a.m. or something, and then partway through day 2, that's when Lord Adron feels rested enough to go battle Sparkrender again. He flies up there, he gets his butt kicked by that blue dragon and gets captured. And then, tomorrow night, Sparkrender will attempt his ritual. He's attempting his ritual tomorrow night because that's when the King Killer Star will be at the highest point in the sky, when his magic is most powerful, and he can channel all of that dead dragon energy into himself and soup himself up. And he's going to do that by sacrificing Lord Adron. Oh no! If Sparkrender succeeds in the ritual, we are going to power him up by giving him a different stat block. Rather than being a blue dragon whelpling, he will become something like a young green dragon, which is less powerful than a young blue dragon. Also, I found this big E. I don't really know what it's for, or I guess we don't have enough context at this point in the video to know what this E is for, but maybe later in the video, it'll resolve into some kind of really satisfying gag or call to action. I don't know what it could be for though. So change number 2, let's make a prologue for this adventure that is better than, oh, you guys just rock up on a beach. Because I am suggesting that new parties use the pre-gens. They're good characters, it's a fun party, but just use the numbers, okay? Just use the game rules. Don't use the actual story or the personal quest. I want you to decide who your character is, and the party together, I want us all to work out how we know each other and how it relates to Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. And I've got a framework to help with this. We're going to say that the party went on a shared quest together directly before this module. And the result of that quest is that, it turns out that this problem we're trying to solve is somehow dragon related. Well, if we have a dragon related problem, let's find a dragon related solution. Hey, did you know that this island has got a dragon protector named Lord Adron? Let's go there, beseech this bronze dragon to help us with our dragon problem on the mainland. And I've got a whole system for generating this vague prologue quest. We'll go over that, it's quite fun. In order to get to Stormwreck Isle, we're going to have the players sail there on the Compass Rose. This is the same ship that they're going to explore as a shipwreck later on. That means it's going to have to sink in the prologue, right? So we'll run a custom skill challenge to see how the players fare in that pretty terrifying moment. And afterwards, as a result of the ship sinking, they're each going to suffer a special effect rolled on this trauma table I've made. Each of these results in the trauma table tie into one kind of story beat somewhere along the story, and the players are going to be incentivized to go explore that story beat. For example, oh no, I've been injured by the harpy as the ship was sinking, and now I'm excited about fighting the harpy. Third change, let's give this thing a persistent timeline, because 48 hours long, that's how long I said the campaign was going to be. That's a small enough scope that you can really sink your teeth into it. So let's say we've got a day-night cycle. What do the locations look like when it's day or night? Do creatures behave differently? Do you have different random encounter tables? And we've also got high tide and low tide. If you explore the shipwreck when it's high tide, is it harder than when it's low tide? We're going to look into all this stuff. Oh my goodness, it's later in the video and I think I've cracked this code. If I put this here, oh my goodness, what could it mean? Fourth change, let's play around with timers. We've got two kinds of timers I want to do. One's called a countdown dice. The other one's called a threat dice. The way a countdown dice works is you set it to a number, you put it out there visible, and you say, everybody, this dice says 6. In 6 rounds, this room will flood. And the players go, oh my goodness, look at this threat. Look how much danger we're in. So much drama. They'll love it. Then we've got the threat dice. This is something you say, hey, I'm going to roll this particular dice at dramatic intervals that I choose throughout this adventure. And if it ever lands on a 1, then X is going to happen. For example, on the boat, you say, guys, if this D12 ever lands on a 1, then the harpy arrives early and gets an advantage in combat. It's spooky, it's scary, it's random, it's fun. Fifth change, the book doesn't have a random encounter table. And normally I'm okay with that, but in this case, I really want to play around with it. So I'm making 4 different random encounter tables that you're going to roll using a D6, right? There's going to be a random encounter for day or night, and a random encounter for whether we're traveling on sea or we're traveling on land. Not all of the random encounters are going to be wandering monsters, and we're going to rebalance some of the existing random encounters so they're a bit more fun. Change number 6. There are a lot of zombies in this adventure. I hate them. I don't like zombies, all right? They're boring to fight. You kill them and they're not dead. I don't like that. So I'm going to try and make some zombie stat blocks that are a bit more varied, give you some options for zombies, and you can kind of swap them in, pick and choose what you want. I think it'll be fun. Change number 7. We're going to play around with the difficulty of this adventure, because there is no way, if you play it as written, that any character will die. It's quite easy. So I want to give Dungeon Masters an option to play on hard mode. If you have experienced players that can behave like a SWAT team, you should play this in hard mode. But if you have newbie players, do not play on hard mode. Let them win. Let's take a look at the various locations here and with the changes we're making broadly to them. At Dragon's Rest, first biggest change, the character of Runara is no longer secretly a dragon. I am not interested in having a character that is so much more powerful than the party. It doesn't make any sense. Runara, why don't you go solve this whole problem? Oh, because you choose not to? Hey, that sucks. So Runara is just a regular person now. Also, rather than having 9 kobolds at this place, we're going to have 7. The reason we're having 7 is because then we can make them like the 7 dwarves from Snow White. And also the character of Bahamut, typically when he's in his human form, he has 7 birds flying around him to protect him. And I just think 7's an appropriate number here. At some point in this adventure, we're going to have the character of Myla with the wings. She's going to go diving. She's the inventor, right? She'll go diving like Ariel, looking for treasures at the bottom of the ocean. And she's going to come back with stuff that she can repair and sell to the players as magic items, because we need a way to spend money. This is an idea I stole from Zipper on Disney, but it works a charm. It's so fun. Every night, the people at Dragon's Rest have a big dinner. Okay, the party are invited, they get to bring a dish, and this is an opportunity where all the NPCs are in the same place and they can do any kind of role playing that they want to do. It's just a really handy junction to have. Changes to the Seagrow Caves. We're giving the octopus encounter some legendary actions, just because it's a rad dramatic fight and I want to make it radder and dramatica. The violet fungi in this mushroom room, we're not going to make that a combat encounter. Instead, that becomes the effect of a threat dice. When we're negotiating with the myconids here, we're turning the whole thing into a social skill challenge rather than free-form roleplay. I want just a little bit of structure to this tense situation. There's a character with the myconids named Sinessa. We are just cutting her altogether. We don't need her. Let's say that the myconids are some kind of anarchist utopia. They don't need no leader. And the changes we're making to the compass rose, I'm actually pretty excited about this one. I've made a custom mini game as the party traverses to the dungeon. They have to pick through all these different shipwrecks, trying to find the right one, trying to avoid the harpy overhead. It's really fun. You're gonna love it. We're also changing it so that the players can repair the broken ballista that's on the deck, and we're turning the harpy, whether it arrives or not, we're turning that into a threat dice. So we're rolling, and if it lands on a 1, no. And the harpy stat block is definitely gonna get some love. It is an underwhelming creature to fight. And changes to the final dungeon. First of all, we are changing this from an observatory where they just look at stars and stuff. We're changing it into a lighthouse. And the light from this lighthouse is that bridge of light, you know, the thing that has been knocked out by Spark Render. That's probably part of the reason why the ship crashed, right? In this dungeon, there are these 2 blue kobolds named Mech and Min. They're both flyers. They're the brothers of Myla, the inventor, back at Dragon's Rest. We are completely retooling these characters. We're going to use them as recurring villains just popping up every now and then. And we're going to give them a flamethrower that they stole from Myla. Just trust me, this one's going to work. The book has a puzzle built into the constellation mural of Sparkrender's room, where you like turn these statues and stuff and they point in the right direction. That doesn't feel like tactile or fun enough for me, so we're going to make a new puzzle for there that really get the players having fun. Our 12th change is that we are redistributing loot, because the way this adventure is written is all the best loot happens after the final fight when it's too late. So I just kind of want to take a look at what's where and then redistribute it so it's a bit fairer and they actually get to use the fun stuff they find. The 13th change is battle companions. This is my homebrew way for including NPC allies in the party. So I'll make a battle companion stat block for all the major NPCs. And if you want to know how battle companions work, then you can click up here, I think. It might be that side, but it's probably this side. It's probably there. And the 14th change I'm suggesting here is that I want you to challenge yourself, because unless this is your first time ever running D&D, in that case you've already got enough on your plate. Okay, don't worry about this. But if you've run D&D before, you should challenge yourself. The way you improve is that you set goals, you measure how you're going on those goals, and even if you don't achieve your goal, you still grow, you still learn something. You got to challenge yourself. Specifically, I want you to leave a comment saying, I am going to work on this campaign, and then come back later, respond to your own comment, and let your past self know how you went. In my case, what I'm going to try next time I run this campaign is I've noticed that whenever I'm in combat, my villains, my creatures, have crap dialogue. I'm really bad at improvising dialogue in a combat situation. So all my villains are like, "You're not welcome here. Get out of here, interlopers." I've noticed that I'm treating my stat blocks like stat blocks rather than treating my stat blocks like characters. And that's not great. So how are you going to challenge yourself? Let me know. Almost every change I've suggested is going to get some kind of Patreon tie-in. I am making PDFs, I am making handouts to help you on your journey here. And it's all going to come out with each video on Patreon. All these people down here, these are my patrons. Thank you so much, patrons. This is a big task and I think it's going to be worthwhile. And I hope you like what we're going to make here. It's really fun. Click subscribe, join the Facebook group, and I'll see you later. Bye.